Hello, hello. Greetings, greetings. Hi, come on. Why am I all the way over there? That's not right. That's not right at all. Hello! Hello, hello, hello. Greetings and welcome in, everyone. My name is Harrier Citadel, avian alien sentinel of Port Misthaven, perpetrator of creative chaos, general maker of things, and wearing my glasses today. Hi! You enabler! Hello, Brad! I still see you hiding behind the chat. Yeah, I didn't know why I was hiding behind the chat. You know why? It was because I closed things without going back to my displacement when I ended stream yesterday. That was why. Usually when we end on a just chatting screen before we hit the end stream button, then we're already in the right place. So I kind of forgot that happened. But hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Good to see you, Braid. So yes, today is going to be another commission grinding day. I'm gonna start by seeing what we can do about those extra bangs layers that need to happen. And the corrections to the existing ones. But I think it's not going to be a particularly long stream today because I am actually a little bit exhausted. Like, I didn't realize it until like an hour ago. I'm actually pretty paced today. So I'm going to keep it a little bit on the shorter end today. Preserve the self a little bit. Yeah, I hate days like that. Yeah. Although I do know why I'm a little bit more paced than usual. I do definitely know why I'm a little bit more paced than usual. And I will be sharing that why soon. I just need to check something because I get the distinct feeling I forgot to do another thing. Did I forget to do the other thing? Yes, I did forget to post about being live, but it's fine. It's fine. Hopefully people have notifications on, I guess. But yeah, we are here. We are streaming. We are going to do the thing as best we can, right? But yeah, I know why I'm paced today. And surprisingly, they'll figure it out. Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, the reason why I am a little bit paced is because I had a little bit more physical activity today than usual. And it was, firstly, a lot of fun. That's where I'm going to start with that. It was good physical activity. Sishian, hello, hello. Finally, YouTube chat let me talk as I've been here since pre-stream lobby. Oh my word. Hello, Sishian, welcome. Thank you, YouTube, for letting him in. Oh my word. Yeah. So yeah, I've been a bit busy today. Basically, what we did was my mother and my brother and I were conspiring upon the discovery of a poster that we saw last week. And basically, we sneakily ended up booking 5 spaces for my entire clan and my brother's fiance to go to an open day that happened this evening for a new dance class that is happening in my area. So that's the thing that happened today. We did a lot in an hour of dancing. Oh my word, it was insane. Actually, it was actually honestly insane how much movement happened in that hour of dancing. So it was boogie and foxtrot that we did in the open day thing. And on exactly none of the practice songs that we had was it anything marginally resembling a relaxed pace. So we were moving literally the entire time. But because it's all new, all you're focusing all the time is count. That was really, really, really wild on that front. And naturally, of course, I was kind of the fifth wheel in the household representation in that regard, being the only person without +1 in the building. And thus, when we got there, as is usually the case with dance classes, there were a lot more ladies than guys in attendance. And basically, being one of those unattached number, I ended up bouncing between dancing both male and female roles. So it was way chaotic in my brain this day already, because I had to learn the ladies' steps and also the gents' steps in the span that the grand majority of the other people only had to learn the one. So it was crazy. I think there were maybe of, like, if I had to guesstimate, 15-16 couples at the evening. I was one of like 4 groups that had to improvise who's going to do the male thing, and I didn't have the same partner 2 dances in a row the entire evening, so it's like I can't even get used to a person. So it was mental gymnastics a little bit, but it was really, really, really fun. We are definitely going to be looking at doing that again. So it will be potentially a regular thing, at least for the next month. Because I know I've mentioned this in private to 1 or 2 people, but my brother and his fiancée are getting married next month. So in the lead up to that, things are going to be a little bit chaotic in my iteration of reality. She's moving in with the rest of us crazies. And it's going to be really, really, really big changes in the household and living situation and all of that madness, which we have been preparing for since like December, and it's still not enough time. Congrats to them. Sounds insane. Yeah. It's wild, but I'm really, really happy for them. So basically, yeah, we're going to probably be taking dance lessons for the remainder of the month leading up to the wedding. And yeah, we are looking for lots of things that will make life easier for us, basically. And it's just been part of the IRL chaos that's been happening the majority of this year has just been trying to get the household logistics such that when she moves in, there is enough space for everyone, and that we are not living in complete chaos to the degree that is normal, and actually have enough space to operate, which when we have not got the capacity to build onto the property yet, is a little bit of a crazy thing. Like, I would very much like to get one of these prefab units put down outside, that I can personally move into, basically. and then just build a tunnel on to connect it to the main building. Like that would be my ideal. But 100,000 rand later for a prefab, it's gonna take a while for us to be able to save up for that. You can do the conversion into your own currencies. I have no idea what that converts like, and I think that's like the last number I heard. I don't know what it's going to be by the time we actually manage to get there, and it's not and that's also not including earthworks and stuff to prepare for it. So it's stuff. One day you'll get your artist containment unit and tunnel. Yes, one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to that is that it will mean that I can actually speak and stream and practice singing and things and being generally loud without necessarily bothering my neighbors and other members of my household. Like, I'm always mindful about the volume at which I'm speaking and things, because my space is located directly between both of the sleeping spaces for the other family members. So I have to be very careful to not get overzealous. Like, I have to be incredibly mindful. And also because nothing in this place is soundproof, so when I am doing anything at between midnight and 4 in the morning, it's very easy to accidentally set off the entire neighborhood in terms of the dogs, and that wakes everyone up, and then everyone is upset, and I do not want to get a knock on the door from the police saying, hey, listen, we've gotten complaints. Shut up, please. So, yeah, I really want my soundproof box. We'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, we as a household generally need to save up for that, and it's tricky. The economy is not friendly. We all know this. It's the normal thing everywhere. So yes, that is one of the things that I'm working to be able to contribute towards as things stabilize with the work things on my end. But once again, it's a matter of just existing to the point where we can actually get things all together and in place and making sense. A little bit earlier, I was also looking at my updates for the Harrier reference sheet, because I was having a look at that donation goal for the Harrier 3D model as well. And I want to actually make sure that the reference sheet is done at some point. So I was quickly looking at that and experimenting with rendering styles a little bit, and not being 100% happy with where that was going yet, so I'll still figure it out a little bit more before I show anyone anything. But yeah, long story short, I have basically decided that I am probably not going to do live 2D updates to the Harrier model again. When I eventually get the 3D model, I'm pretty much going to stick with a 3D model for myself. I think that's what I've decided for the present state of existence. Simply because having multiple does not make sense to me in that regard, especially when one of them is going to be hopelessly out of date. I've also determined that I am going to attempt, once I've got Ebony done, to make a separate second Harrier model as well for Misthaven project things, because I do think that anything that I make and Cubed 3D's work that I will be commissioning later once we have achieved the donation goal, it's going to be distinctly different enough that in order to have at least some consistency in the Project Misthaven things that I do want, as I make all of the associated models, I'm thinking I'm going to need to make a separate Harrier model for that as well. But yeah, it's gonna be lower poly. Let's just phrase it that way. It's definitely gonna be lower poly. So yeah, I have part of the reason why I've been paying a lot of attention to the Final Fantasy XIV things as well lately is because I've been actively looking at how the models have been built, how they've been textured, looking at basically the poly counts as best as I can while we're in game. Also, 3D commission service when I can actually model and rig a thing to completion. I've not yet done so for a character model. Like, I have not completely built a character model yet. It's one of the reasons why I'm getting one commissioned for Harrier, and I'm building Ebony as a learning step in the process. One day, because I have the poly modeling basics mostly down. I'm still figuring out the clothing modeling stuff quite significantly, because it all depends on, okay, what kinds of clothing are you modeling, what's your poly count limits, what is the goal of where is this model going to be used, what kind of colliders can you apply to it, etc, etc. How much do you need to cheat the model so that you don't have clipping issues, or as many clipping issues anyway. So it's, instead of just being draw a thing, put it on a mesh and go, like Live 2D is, it's getting things to be aesthetically pleasing from literally all of the angles, even when the thing is basically right up against the camera. It's making sure that you put your seams for the colors in the right places so that you can't see them. It's making sure that the colors, the base colors, get painted across those seams in such a way that you don't see it. It's making sure that none of those textures are also too big and that they make your machine fall over. It's getting physics to work on a lot more bones. It's colliders, which you don't have to worry about in Live 2D, because you need to get stuff to not bump into stuff. So yeah, and all of that is before light is even taken into consideration. So on top of just getting colors in the right places, you also then need to look at, okay, how is each part actually going to react to light, and build shaders accordingly. Because you're going to have situations where you're not going to be able to use pre-made built-in shaders on things, and or use what they call matte caps for your stuff, which is basically a procedural texture that makes a thing have a specific, like, the actual word I'm looking for is texture, but surface condition, I suppose, and reactiveness to light and normals and all of that madness. So it's a lot of things. It's a ridiculous amount of effort and new considerations. Absolutely, it's a lot. It's like, to do 3D VTuber modeling is basically to be an entire cinematic CG pipeline on your lonesome, or 3D game dev pipeline on your lonesome almost, and it's a lot to learn. I have been slowly picking up things here and there over the last couple of years on that front, but it is a lot. Like, I've been primarily polishing my ability to actually just get a base model aesthetically pleasing. That has been my goal over the last couple of years of attempting character modeling, and I'm kind of getting there. now need to get good at actually doing the clothing side of things, and then I can finally start the UV painting side of things. I was very, very, very tempted earlier to look at the sculpting side of things. I was looking at the ZBrush earlier, and I was looking at the subscription price, and that was the only thing that made me go, nope, not there yet, because I know Blender's sculpting tools are getting better, but finding tutorials for Blender sculpting is a lot harder than you would anticipate. Or at least in terms of figuring out, okay, how do these tools actually respond? Because I'm still struggling to get the sculpting tools on Blender to respond in a way that I find predictable. And I know it's sort of, okay, sure, just getting used to the tools a little bit, but I do know that historically, Blender has not been as easy to work with on the sculpting side of things as ZBrush, which is kind of like the industry premier software on the thing, and in the terms of sculpting stuff. So yeah, had a friend learn 3D modeling, the whole pipeline of the worst tutorial I've ever seen. Had no idea how she knows how to do any of it. Yeah. It's insane. What I will say is that I am kind of looking forward to learning Blender's grease pencil tool at some point, which is its 2D animation setup as well, because being able to incorporate 2D and 3D together in the same software package like that is really, really useful. But I think that is a next level set of skills after one can actually make a model. Like, on the actual animation side of things, I'm actually not feeling too perturbed about what that learning pipeline is going to look like, because I've done a lot of animation in other software before. So in terms of, okay, how do the eases work? How do I get things to look this way or that? Actually posing the models out in such a way. That part I'm not particularly stressed about. But it's gonna be the... thank you. It's gonna be a pipeline to learn. And it is in my relatively urgent list of skills to pick up, for sure. Because I specifically want to use some of it in Project Misthaven, like quite badly. I really want to use some of it in Project Misthaven. So it is a thing that I am working on quite a bit in the background. She says, while realizing that she hasn't actually opened the Ebony build in probably 3 months. Eesh. It's been on my brain, but I've been basically doing simulations in my head more than anything else, and that's partially helpful, but at the same time not entirely productive. So at some point I need to actually put stylus to proverbial paper on that front. But yeah, at the moment what we need to do is actually get to the point where we are stable enough to actually be able to afford to spend the time a little bit more as well. So I will probably be making a duplicate of the illustration patronage service on my VGen as well, so that that can be converted into a 3D modeling patronage thing for the Misthaven characters, because I don't know how else I'm going to be able to actually get that to pick up along the way, so that we can actually work on those in stream as well eventually. Actually, I've been talking myself into the 3D hole now for too long. It's been on my brain for like 3 weeks already, guys. I'm actually considering swapping tomorrow's doodle relator with 3D. I spoke myself into that hole just now. I wonder if I'll ever be able to stick with the schedule that I set for myself again. I need to keep things switched up, like a lot. She says while she realizes that she's basically been in Zatsu for half an hour. I think it's time that we hydrate, guys. Whoops. Everyone, acquire your nearest safe consumption beverages, and let's take a sip. Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm going to be looking forward to when I can get a 3D model again, or for the first time proper, and I am able to get appropriate trackers for it as well. One thing I'm looking forward to is being able to actually strap a tracker to my mug and actually being able to hydrate with my mug moving with me with an actual mug that's in 3D space. I know that there are options for a bunch of trackers that now let you do that. So it's going to be really, really nice to actually be able to implement that. So I'll finally actually be able to get the mug that I've had the design for on my fourth wall store. I'll finally be able to actually use my mug in stream. I'm so looking forward to that at some point, right? Oh my word, I really want that mug. And to actually be able to hydrate properly with you guys. That'll be fun. So yeah, we're slowly but certainly working towards the model, because it's going to give us a whole bunch of those fun things that we can do. But yeah, while we are working towards being able to purchase that model from Cube 3D, then I am going to continue trying to work on the Project Misthaven models as well. So that's the game plan in a rough nutshell. So, for those of you who have been able to piece some things together sneakily, because you're a bunch of very smart individuals, I am certain of this, you will have noticed that, Harrier is trying to get 3D character models for Project Misthaven. Krahazik has been helping with assets for production of Project Misthaven things. Krahazik works in 3D. I wonder, is there a chance that Project Misthaven might have a 3D element? Yes, Project Misthaven is intended to be a 3D thing. It is intended to be a 3D thing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not going to obscure that information any further. It's driving me insane hiding that. I want it to be a 3D thing. But 3D within reason. We're not aiming for AAA, because that's insanity. If I can get something that looks even a fraction as good as Final Fantasy XIV, I will be a happy burb, because it's a big undertaking and it's a lot to learn in the process. Whether I'm going to say this now, it's not going to behave like Final Fantasy XIV. Goodness no, I haven't got that kind of scope in me. And it's certainly not going to be anywhere near as long. Because I've got to put some limits on the content development, at least at this stage, because it's literally only a handful of us working on it, and pretty much everyone besides me is a volunteer, so I'm not going to make any expectations of people for that at this point in time. If I ever get to the point where business entity can actually take on, you know, hey, we're gonna actually hire developers now, then, you know what, that will entirely be on the back of there has been way more support than I know what to do with. No, actually, if we get like all of the money out of nowhere, I swear it's pretty much all just going to go into producing IP. Like, solve a couple of problems, and then all go into developing IP. And making more cool stuff. I have a big love for the idea of who needs big profit margins when you can reinvest that otherwise static money back into continuing to make cool things. Just do the process smart. It's one of the reasons why I probably, so long as I can and have the means to have any say in the matter, anything that I do business-wise, I do not ever want to sell it off to investors, even in part because investors don't understand that idea of reinvest in your product rather than put it in a personal wealth pool. So yeah, that's my vibe. Personal wealth is nice, but not at the expense of, you know, the entire, that which makes the personal wealth even possible, I don't think. So yeah. Am I a fan of publicly listed entities? Not necessarily, because of exactly that. We already know where that goes. In terms of business decision making. But that is a little bit too sensitive for now, so let's digress away from that in a hurry. So yeah, we are looking at getting that capacity opened up again. To work on that. If I just quickly look at the status of what is in the commission queue, I am very close to being done with Krahazik's reference sheet for his feral form. So I should hopefully be able to get that done tomorrow. That's going to be the goal. Depends on how much I destroy my thumb today. So then that will be off of the cards. There are 43 illustrations in the music video animatic, of which we have 3 inked. So yay, only 40 more to go. And only about half of those am I actually going to be able to work on stream, because I want to not spoil the story, because there's a story. Yay. So yeah, I'm going to probably try and get 10 of those done a week for the next 4 weeks, at the very least, in between other things. Which, considering the amount of content per panel, should not be too difficult. Like, if I can get 2 panels a day on my other stuff, that should get us through pretty quickly. And then I've got to do the other animatic as well at a relatively similar pace, so that needs to happen as well. So yeah, currently working on Sishian's model and Zony's reference sheet are the 2 ongoing long things that are major stream capacity pieces, if I can phrase it that way. With Sishian being obviously more on the stream than Zany at this point. But we're getting there. We are slowly but certainly getting there. But I do want to just check quickly Yeah, I'm just going to quickly do that duplication because otherwise I'm going to feel really, really dumb. And I'm going to forget later. So, copy. All right, and I just want to see. Okay. All right, that Misthaven 3D modeling patronage service is now live on VGen as well. That was a relatively quick thing to quickly set up. So if you guys want to see me get through that madness a little bit faster, please consider buying an hour of my time on that front. It will help quite significantly. In terms of actually being able to get the entire madness off of the ground. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything really, really dumb. Am I missing anything particularly dumb? No more dumb than usual. Okay. Okay. So, where we left off on Sushian's model last time, we had identified that we need to draw in another 3 bangs layers, and we started meshing out a couple of outfit pieces. I think for today we're going to continue to work on rigging and meshing outfit bits, because I will be very honest, my thumb is still tired from working on scales. Like, it's a lot of very, 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 very tiny wedges to draw, and doing that with the whole arm is very, very shaky at the moment, so a lot of that movement happens in the hand instead of in the arm, so it's very much on the thumb. Sorry if things suddenly got really shaky on the microphone side of things. I was just quickly adjusting my graphics tablet monitor. So, let me just get this open so that we can continue working on our rig. And let me just open my time log as well. And let us get right in. And I need to be over. Is it? No, that one. That's the one. I couldn't remember which button it was to do the thing. It's good to have hotkeys keyed to your camera movement, but oh my word. If you can only remember which hotkey does what, right? Okay, so we are continuing with the Great Meshing Madness. That needs to happen. Before we start putting parts more conveniently in the right places. Methinks what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the boots today, and then we'll move upwards, because that way I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere. But before we do, I'm going to do another hydrate ahead of the half-hour mark. Why? Because before I started stream, I sneakily made myself another cup of coffee. Because I've only had one since waking up, which is not enough. And internet back? Is the internet back? We had a really bad disconnection there. Are we back? Are we back? Are we? Are we? Are we really? Phone is still saying no. Are we really back? Are we? Or is that just because I switched on my mobile data? Ah, I don't know. I don't know. Let me see what's happening here. Let's see, are we in fact back? If you can hear me, please type in chat because I have no idea if we're actually back or not. I have no idea if we're actually back or not. I can't tell. Okay. Crazy. Coffee. Coffee makes everything better. Coffee makes everything better. Ah! So that's the cup I made gone. Okay, I hope that the internet is back. I had a really bad sudden disconnection. So if I am in fact back, please let me know. If I am in fact not back, I am really sorry. Because I don't know. I really don't know. If you can see anything, please type something in chat. Okay. If you can try plug me in, that would be really helpful, please. That's a good boot, at least made for Steppen. Indeed, it is indeed made for Steppen. Thank you, Bread. So, are we back? Reconnection successful? Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Gasp. And it looks like we're back. It looks like we're back. Yay, we're back. We're back. It looks like. Yay. I see icons that indicate that we are back online.
You got 50 down and only 10 up.
Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely.
So
thank you.
like the whole internet is on.
Lovely.
Nothing on the
Joy. If you guys heard that, my internet is fried. Ay, yikes. So if there are more dropouts, there is exactly nothing I can do about it. It is the ISP that is busy falling apart at the seams, it seems. it's in general infrastructure madness again, I think. So it's good to be back. Asterisk, question mark, knockwood, thumbs crossed type madness. We'll see how it lasts. If it turns out that I might need to shorten stream even further than initially contemplated on account of the poor internet, then that will be a pity, but it won't be the most unlikely thing under the sun at this point. So yeah, I'm on an upload speed of 10 at the moment, and that is less than ideal, obviously. But we do what we can, right? We do what we can. Stream or no stream, I'm going to need to keep working on this a bit anyway, so... we fight on, right? Let's get this on this edge, because otherwise I'm scared that's going to start warping strangely. Okay, that works for that section. Now what we need to do is protect that bit of shine. So we're gonna start by coming over here. Something like that. Okay. That should do the trick for the toe box. Now what I want to look at next is going to be the heel section, which is going to stay pretty much the same on that edge. What I do want to do is just subdivide here a little bit, just in case I want to do a little bit of mesh deformer warping with that. Okay, now, let's just get that into that position. There we go. And over here. Up a little bit. There we go. Alright, now this one is a little bit of a pain, so we're going to go. Before I do that, catch this seam. Because that's an important boundary. And here, like so. And like such. And then let's divide this one up as well, just for safety's sake. I don't think I'm gonna need this one to be able to walk, but it's not gonna hurt for it to be capable just in case it does. Alrighty, so that's that piece. Next, the bridge. Like so. What happens in that top black section is actually not particularly important because it's always going to be covered. So what's more important is the shape of the boundary of that section. Okay. And here's another boundary that needs to be protected. Like that. There we go. Alright, then over here, I'm just going to protect that edge. And on this side, like that. Alright, that should do for this one. Okay, so that's those three. Now, no, next section that needs to be meshed is going to be inboard. Okay, so here what we're going to do is we're going to make use of our pen. Like that, and that, and that. Good. Set, confirm. Sharpen that corner. There we go. Is there any gaps here? Not particularly. Can get it just a little bit more on the line though. There we go. Just like that. And then that last one. Nearly got it. Alright, there we go, there we go. Confirm that. Pull you down. Like so, okay. And okay, now what we need to do is we need to put these in little safeties. Almost got it, almost. Last one, and then I can close. Okay, there we go. That's that one. Now I think it's time for a hydrate. So everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages, and let's take a sip. Coffee is now cold again. Yo. We continue. Next piece to mesh. Let's start with our securities on this first. Alright. Wait, show model image only. First, let me get rid of these, because they're just confusing me. Okay, and on this side, I'm actually going to take that lot, make it disappear. And let's do this. Okay, getting there, getting there, getting there, getting there, nearly there. Okay, set. Slowly but certainly getting places. Wait. Um, I still need to finish protecting this edge. Okay, so that should be that one sorted. So on that movement, that's all it's already rigged, I think. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of compression at the moment. That's good enough for a start. Okay, I'm not going to touch the belts yet. What I'm looking for is the laces. Here. Clear that one. Clear that one. Add a corner here. Add a corner here. Add a corner here. Clear you. Clear you. And that. Okay. Yep. Like so. And like so. And are we good? Looks that way, just about, for this piece. Okay. Next stretch. Okay, confirm. Clear that because it's useless there. And Almost got this one. Okay. And last piece. Just like that. Okay. So that's our laces sorted. So they should all be shifting and compressing at the same pace now on that angle. Yep. Cool. I still need to do the belts. That's the next level thing. Are the only ones that need to be particularly adjusted are these ones, and it doesn't take much. It's not going to take much. But I think that it is time for another hydrate. So everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages, and let's take a sip. Yeah. It looks like my chat on OBS is completely frozen because I missed Krahazik's greeting. Hello Krahazik, welcome. Can I refresh this? Let me check. I should be able to refresh this. Hold on. There we go. Now that should be up to date again. Hello. Yeah, okay, so we continue the meshing. We continue the meshing madness. And not with that tool though. Dispose of that one. We want that one. Why? Because we don't need too much resolution here. And when I've got this one in place, what I'm going to do is cheat. And then just copy paste and tweak. So, copy. Paste. Put that in. Pull that down a bit. That way a bit more. And like so. There we go. one over there. Same deal over here. Start with flattening it. Pulling that inward. Pull that all down a bit. Flatten it a little bit more. Down a bit more. Good, good, good. Pull that in a little bit from that side. There we go. Next. Delete, paste. Pull it down. Do 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 do. There we go, there we go, there we go. Here. Flatten. And actually going to rotate that a little bit. And now I can pull this out a smidge over here and pull this across a little bit and up a little bit. There we go. And on this side also rotate. Not so much. Come on. Find a sweet spot. There we go. And shrink you down this way. And shrink you down that way. And down. And flatten. And teensy bit more rotation. Okay, got you. Last one. Paste. Pull you down. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, that's that side. Flatten. Pull it in. Pull it in. Flatten a little bit more. And rotate a smidge and pull down. Okay, so that's that bunch, and should now behave pretty predictably. Okay, that works, that works, that works, that works. Now, this piece needs to get pushed back. I'm going to push it back 10 for a start. But that is 45 minutes on 2 outfit meshes. 45, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. Okay. Getting places. Getting places. So next that needs meshing is going to be our lace knots. Ooh. I did the dumb here. This was a folder that I was not supposed to flatten. This was a folder I was definitely not supposed to flatten. Go away, I'm sorry. I'm gonna need to pull that back. Actually, I'm gonna leave it in for now. And yes. This is gonna go into setups and optimizations. Let's just see what we can do. This is a lot of organic stuff that's got a lot of dead space. Why? That's why. And if I'm lucky, it won't throw more of these off. Okay, that's good. Are there any other organic pieces on here that need to go in here? Yes. There should be enough space for them, I think. I hope. Let's see. Yes. Okay, we're good. We're good. Right, now make sure I haven't got anything selected there. This one I'm gonna slot over here. And no, don't do that. I want you down there. Move you up so that you're not going to get in the way. These are still going to need to get meshed, obviously. That is a problem for another time. Now let's see what all I can fit on here still. Because as soon as I put anything on here and auto align it, it is going to absolutely destroy this entire layout. Guaranteed. And it's going to throw stuff off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab those. Place. Tony! Hello! Welcome in. Good to see you. Howdy do. I'm doing good, getting started on dinner. Ooh, nice. Nice, nice. Food is always good. Okay, that works. So that part still needs to get meshed, clearly. What else can I put in here that will fit? These will definitely all fit in here. I can find holes for them to fill. Like that'll do. And here's a gap. And here's a gap. And nope, undo that because why? I grabbed wrong. Come on, come on. Let's keep this moving. Okay, that's those. Now, those two are other small ones. Put this one on. It's gonna come in here. Okay. Undo that, because that was going to be a nightmare. Okay. That one in like so. Let's think. This is a bit broad. For this one, let's see if there's spiders here. All of this pretty much is still unmeshed, so... I'm gonna be able to simplify this. Hold up. Remove those two. They don't need to exist there. Why? Because I can just take the big one and duplicate it down as needed. I can just duplicate that down as needed. I don't need 3 identical grey smudges. Okay, and that is 12 minutes to set up some optimizations. So while that's busy saving, let's go add 12 to that. So that is gonna be 29. Wait. Okay. And now's a good time to hit the save button and also to hydrate. So everyone, acquire your nearest safer consumption beverages and let's take a sip. And with that, the coffee is gone. Okay. Hydrate, yes, hydrate times. I just need to check over here. Something was not playing ball. There we go. That wasn't updating. Okay. There we go. There we go. I'm just gonna put my sleeves down because it has occurred to me that I am frozen to the bone, and that won't fly. Okay. So that is the boots mostly meshed. Cool. So now it is you. Alright, and you come over here. And then you go away, and you go away, and we're gonna go stripe, and place like so, and wait, keep following me, thank you, place like so, and like that. And on this side, all the way up here, come on. Almost got it. Almost got it. And you come down a bit more. And up. And across to there. Okay. This needs to come in here. Match that curve. And coolio. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. Okay. Now here. No. Wrong one. This doesn't need to be desperately high resolution because the majority of it is actually going to be behind other stuff all of the time. Wait. Okay, there we go. Now over here. like that. Close that one and close like so. Now this we're primarily going to see when the body moves sideways and the toe is going to bump outward accordingly. So we're going to start seeing a little bit of the heel in that case as well. No. And then I want to just add that. Okay, and that should do it on that one. So that is now, save for the laces over there, that lace knot which needs to be redone. That's the boots completely meshed. Cool. So the next piece that needs meshing is going to be our sleeve crosses. Let's do that. Okay. It's gonna definitely need more resolution than this. But it's fine, we'll get there. I think 2 splits along each side should be enough. It's not gonna move that much. In terms of how these ones are gonna warp. Okay, over here. Just like so. Okay. Getting there, getting there, getting there. And this side. go. Okay, that's one. Okay, that's the rough black out on the second, and now we make it decent. Now here, I don't necessarily actually want to do it that way. Let's see, how far out do I need to push this? To preserve that corner. Similarly over here. Ew. No, that won't work. Gah. Like that it has to be. Okay. Right. Last one. Nearly there. Bum, bum. Okay, that's working on this front. Now, like so. This does not need too much resolution either. Nope. Okay, that should do the trick there. And all good. Where are we? Still a lot that needs meshing on that front. Let's do this one next. This is gonna need 2 of this sort of thing. But our repeat density is going to be 10. Okay. Alright, that's that one. Confirm. Okay. And the other side. Something like this, methinks. Also, these two are going to clip through each other a little bit, but it's fine. The important thing is the line on the border. Where does it diverge? Okay, confirm. Get rid of that free floating one. Get rid of that free floating one. Get rid of that free floating one. Okay. Slowly but certainly. We are getting there. Now move these ones to capture and protect this edge. And these ones to capture and protect that edge. And split this one like so. There we go. This needs to come back a bit. This needs to come back a bit. Okay. Around this edge. Okay. Nope. This I'm going to just move across like that. Okay. Almost got it. Okay, that's that one sorted. But I think it is now time for another hydrate. So everyone acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages. And let's take a sip. Next one. Next one. Okay. You are going to get cleared in your entirety. Place. Place. Rough place. Rough place. Okay. Okay, that'll do the trick there. We are nearly done meshing the shirt sleeve. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to whatchamacallit, copy the outer border for both of the inboard and outboard sleeve to glue to the sleeve back, which will give the entire perimeter. Unless I'm being dumb. Yeah, I don't need this for here because it's difficult to see. Ish. But the back sleeve actually goes past what we see here. So what I did was I built this as if the edge of this piece is actually a seam. That's how I did this. Okay. So this is more going to be about capturing our edges. Between colors. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So I don't want to have too much of a border, but I also don't want to start getting so close that I can't tell where the edge actually is. Because I don't want to accidentally cut off opacity. Which with a soft edge like this is quite easy to do by accident if you did get too close. So we go through entire zone. That one's too close. edge over here. Okay, now I want this one. And over here, grab that. Nope. Okay. And what's happening over here is we've got more creases. Okay, so we've got to protect those edges. Even if they're hard to see, because if those bend wobbly and weird, even if they're subtle, you're gonna notice it. Okay, getting there. Now this side needs to be continued, so that's gonna come across like so. Eek. Okay. That should do the trick. Now here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy this outside line, which means copy the entire thing, because trying to select that in isolation is going to be a nightmare. Remove those, paste. And hope that this works. I don't think it will. Why? Because I don't think it took the copy. Copy. Paste. There we go. Now it's working. Now it's working. Now it's working. There we go. Grab those. Okay. That's one side sorted. Now to get the other in place, since this is the perimeter for the shirt sleeve proper. This is a slow process, but it's a necessary one. Okay. Come on, come on. That should work. And confirm. Now. We close that up. And same up here. Okay, let's just add a rough line through here. Nope, let's not do that. At least. Okay, that'll do. Up there. Now let's see how many of those I can get rid of. Oh, yeah, this is just getting messier and messier. Okay. Undo all of that because that is all trash. Be gone. Unleash. Undo. That's a bit better and a little bit more sane. Nope. That's a little bit more sane. Okay, so now we grab those two. Bind everything. That has the same. What mesh is opened? What mesh is opened? Yeesh. Okay. Now this is all gonna go red. Okay. Okay, now I see what mesh is open. Okay. At that point, it does not matter at that stage. Okay. So now the sleeve parts are all in order. Okay. So let's just see where we're at. That was 48 minutes. On meshing, part meshes, outfit, 48 minutes. So that's gonna be 15 plus 40 is 90. That's gonna make this a whole whopping 200. On the dot. Okay, so I have not yet gotten into fixing the draw orders on the body pieces. So what you're seeing happening weird behind the neck there is still a draw order madness thing that I've still got to go back and fix off stream. But we're starting to get places. So the next thing that I need to sort out is going to be making sure that the sleeve sections are they actually following properly? The arm rotation? They are, but because of connections to the shoulder not yet being in place, it's looking very stiff. And the warps for the entire torso movement is still wobbly at best. So let's see. What's the next part that I can work on? Fixing the shoulder rig is definitely in order soon. I still need to mesh the collar pieces, okay. I still need to mesh the collar pieces. I'll get there. But I think this is where I'm going to call it for the day because my brain is mulch. For the guys who missed it earlier, my brain is mulch because I had an interesting experience earlier today in that my entire family went to dance classes for the first time ever. And by that I mean all 5 of us in the house. The 5th one being my brother's fiance, who's going to be moving in with us when they get married in July. So it's like way soon, around the corner, that there will be another soul in the abode. And And let me just, I'm going to do this manually because with the internet that did the blip weirdly just now, nothing is connecting properly. So, my shortcuts thingy is doing the weird, so one moment please, let's just get back over here. There we go. So yeah, long story short, we went to dance classes. It was the first. We did the boogie and the foxtrot, slow foxtrot. Those were the two dances we tried. Today was like an open day type thing, so between my mom, brother and I, we conspired to surprise the fiancé and drag along the reluctant father unit, who ended up having so much fun that when the instructor asked us, so are we seeing you? He said absolutely, and that before any of the rest of us could even glance between one another to find out, okay, how are we going to drag him back again? And no, he said, no, he's in for it. So yay, victory. Because we had a really, really fun session. It was a really good group. Instructors great, lots of humor. So very vibrant, very fun. And really nice exercise too. So, it was a lot of physical exertion, but being the fifth wheel in the household, I did not have a partner, right? And thus, I found myself being one of those roving individuals who has to learn both the lead and the following part of the dance, which means that my brain was fried because I needed to learn everything twice in the span that most people learnt it once. My coordination was pushed to the limits this day. So yeah, it was a lot, but it was a really a ton of fun. So it's possibly going to become a regular thing. Definitely for the next month leading up to the wedding, for sure. But also, in case you guys are wondering, that month leading up to the wedding is going to be why there's going to be a lot of IRL chaos in my iteration of reality. The exact details of that chaos I'm going to keep firmly to myself, but when I say that there is IRL chaos, it is largely going to be doing with either wedding preparations itself or preparing the household to accept a fifth soul who is moving in. So yes, it's gonna be crazy. Like this entire weekend, we are trying to throw out stuff. Today is okay. On my iteration of reality, it's already Thursday. So on Friday, early in the morning, the skip arrives. The skip is like a big rent dumpster, in case that's an unusual terminology. I don't know, because I know in different parts of the world the same thing gets called different things. But the skip arrives on Friday, we got it till Sunday, and we are chucking junk. And the rest we're taking to a garage sale that is hosted at my local church. On a monthly basis, they've got this jumble sale type thing going on. So what doesn't get chucked gets taken to the jumble sale. And it's gonna be a massive purge. Trying to clear space so that things can finally get sorted in this building a little bit. I'm basically repeating what happened in the beginning part of the stream Zatsu in case people missed it, but basically, in a nutshell, what's happening is that all of the chaos, basically, since we started tiling in December, is in preparation household chaos is in preparation for the fiance moving in in early July now. So it's crazy. It's really, really, really crazy. What we are trying to achieve. But it's fun in its own weird, chaotic way. And yeah, it's going to be a big change in the household dynamic a little bit. For the last while, we've already been trying to get used to dividing things by 5. The math doesn't math quite so cleanly as divide by 4, but yeah. We will probably get used to it. We'll probably get used to it. Yeah, so in terms of household logistics, things are a little bit up in the air as we prepare for that madness in the terms of the life scenario change. I did mention this earlier as well, that we are still aiming for being able to acquire Harrier 3D as part of the donation goals, because I am going to not be updating the Harrier Live 2D model, I decided, after much deliberation. And when I get the 3D, that we're sticking with the 3D. That's going to be the plan. I am going to be building Misthaven character models for everyone, because we are actually also going to be doing Misthaven stuff in 3D. So that little spoiler got dropped earlier as well, is that with Krahazik assisting with 3D assets in the background, and me wanting to actually get good at character modeling, we are going to be building Project Misthaven as a medium poly 3D sort of setup. That is the target. I'm not perturbed about the animation side of things. I think that's going to be probably the easier part of the job, rather than figuring out how to do all of the character modeling. I've done a lot of animation before, so none of the principles are new. And when motion capture is a thing, that will also help. Luckily, we've at least got a little bit of experience with that with VTubing, right? And we know that it's very, very, very possible in Blender, so it's all going to work out just fine. But when we have Harrier 3D funded, the next donation goal is going to be going towards improving my living situation a little bit. In the foreseeable future, because I would like to be able to contribute towards actually being able to afford some updates and renovations in the building. I mentioned this earlier in the Zatsu part as well, and I know I'm rehashing, but just for the folk who weren't here earlier, we'd like to be able to put down a prefab unit to be able to expand the living space, because 5 adults in 5 work from home adults in a 3-bedroom space is tight. It's tight. So there is already not enough stuff. There's already not enough space for all of us to have appropriate workspaces. We have all got our offices crammed into bedrooms in inconvenient and uncomfortably tight spaces. So I would we would collectively like to be able to put down a prefab unit that I can move into. That will have a little tunnel connecting it to the main building, obviously, so that I can still get there without raining wet on a given day. And you know, be connected and safe and secure, and isolated for sound, so that I can actually not worry about being too loud come 3 in the morning when I am streaming. So those are things that we're looking for at doing. The rough estimation in terms of the pricing structure on that is going to be in the region of 100,000 South African rand, which is really a lot of money in my iteration of reality. I don't know what that is in your guys' currency, but in my iteration of reality, that's a lot of money. And that is not including the earthworks and such for preparation for the ground for where to actually put it. So those are things that we are trying to be able to do, because that's like big life stuff. And that is something that I will only be able to actually open up for after we have acquired Harrier 3D, which is actual business expense. But yes, it's one of the things that we're aiming for. And I can't expect the rest of the household to just make it happen on their own. I've got to be able to contribute to it as well. So we're working on it. In terms of other things, one of the reasons why I bring up Harrier 3D as well is because I've got a couple of plans for things that I would very much like to be able to do with it. Obviously, once we have actually got the 3D model, it'll be a lot easier to do things like implement additional animations and tracking options and things like that. Well, that'll make things look a little bit more dynamic, because obviously I built this model in a hurry once upon a time, and as such it has a lot of things that are very, very, very static. I built it to be able to be more maneuverable, but I'm just not getting around to doing the updates to it. So I am going to just wait until we can actually afford the 3D, and then it will be easier to do those implementations later, because it's not going to be a whole set of, okay, every time you want to do a new thing you've got to build whole new assets for it, right? Because as soon as you've got actual tracking for body movement and stuff, things get easier. Things do definitely get easier. So those are the little things that we're taking into consideration. All of that said, I am strictly going to get the Harrier 3D model commissioned by Cubed 3D. We've already had discussions about that. They're just waiting for me to actually get the funding in place so that we can do the thing. But the models that are going to go into Project Misthaven, I am building. I am learning with Ebony as a starting point. We are going to learn all of the things in terms of that. And if you would like to make it more possible for me to learn that faster and get Project Misthaven to you guys faster, please consider checking out my region and checking out the Project Misthaven support section and sponsoring an hour of my time, because that helps a lot in terms of being able to actually start getting this thing to you fast, because at the moment it's getting pushed back behind the commission madness, and this is my job. I can't afford to not do one thing in favor of another. So even if it looks like I'm doing a lot of stuff offline, I am working on commissions like pretty much all the time. If I'm not asleep or eating or solving household chaos, I am working on commissions at all times at this point. And if you guys can assist me in being able to work on Project Misthaven so that you can have original stuff on the channel to look forward to, that would be a really, really, really cool and a really big help. So if you can, that would be great. And if you would like to be able to see Harrier 3D sooner, then please consider dropping a little donation. Even the tiniest amount helps. What I am very much looking forward to is also eventually being able to get a tracker that I can strap to a mug, so that when we do the hydrates, I can actually hydrate with a mug that actually I can pick up from next to me and it will actually move and track appropriately. I think that'll be really, really fun to do. And if you would like my mug, you can check out my fourth wall, where you can acquire the mug that I have not been able to implement on my Life 2D model because I've just not been getting there. You guys are gonna get my mug before I am. It's gonna be insane. Amongst other things, there's other cool things there. You can check it out for yourself. That was my little plug for the day. So yes, today's stream has been shorter in terms of the working stuff, largely because my brain has been mulch. After doing multiples of things and trying to keep up with a bunch of stuff happening in the background. Let me think. Tomorrow I am in debate whether I'm going to continue with the doodle relates as previously planned, or if I'm going to work on ebony. So I'm going to put a poll on that in the Discord, whether we're going to do doodle relates or whether we're going to work on ebony. One of the two are going to happen, the ebony 3D model. One of the two are going to happen. I'll put a poll in the Discord for us to have the decision before the next 12 hours are gone. Because I can't make up my mind. I'm feeling the 3D itch personally. I don't even know what state the ebony model is in at the moment. It's been months since I've been able to work on it. We've just had focuses in other places. What I do know is that we have not yet started the hair on that model. I don't even know where we are in terms of the entire body base mesh madness. It's crazy. I know we are trying to keep it like medium poly, like not completely low poly, but like I am trying to learn from around about the same sort of resolution as what we see in the Final Fantasy XIV models. I think that's aesthetically a good balance between economic use of vertices and clever hair card usage and clever and very aesthetically pleasing UV painting. So when we finally get to that part of the process, I'm going to be very, very, very excited for that part of the process. But before then, we've actually got to get, the models modeling and moving and putting in shape keys. What I am going to be doing is I'm going to be rigging the shape keys for it as if they're going to be VTuber models, right? And the reason for that is that when comes time to do facial animations, it would be really, really, really cool if we could actually have some options in terms of how we actually animating speech. So I am still investigating the real viability of it, but I want to eventually be able to get a few things voiced here and there later. This is like big dream things, but throw the dreams on the wall and be able to handle it later, right? But basically what I want to do is I want to have all of the possible shape key options in a way that looks right for each character, so that when I need to do animations for it, I can do animations for it, and when I want to do something with emotion capture that will assist with, for example, acting out a specific scene, I can do so. So those are things that I am busy putting together, planning for, researching, learning how to do in the background when I am struggling to sleep. So it's stuff that's occupying a great amount of my brain power. In between trying to write things as well. So we are making slow and steady progress, but if you have it in your heart and in your capacity to be able to assist in purchasing some capacity to work on Project Misthaven, it would be like amazing. But if you don't, it's no hard feelings. We all understand the economy is crazy right now. And I don't want you guys to get in debt on my account. So, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'll put up the poll as soon as I have ended stream properly regarding tomorrow. And let me think. Who is there? Anything else? No, brain is a bag of cats. Brain is completely gone. That is the sound of my brain being completely exhausted for this day. So yeah, at some point, it is, yeah, I wanted to still do a treadmill Zatsu this month. That never happened. Well, I'll try to do one again at the beginning of next month. I promise I will try to get a gap for that. I'm telling you now already, if we do a treadmill Zatsu in July, it will happen mid to late July. Early July is gonna be insanity, so it's not gonna happen then, that's for sure. So just warning you guys now already. It's gonna be mad. It's gonna be mad for the next month and a little bit leading up to that wedding in early July. All of that said, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Have fun. Rest well when you get there. And until next time, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful rest of day and cheery bye.